This setup costs 3 times this setup. Look at these two shots and try to figure out which one belongs to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K and which one to this Sony ZV-E10. I'll tell you at the end of this video, so stay tuned because in the meantime we'll discuss other aspects of this comparison than image quality. Good morning everyone, welcome back to Filmmaking Simplified, it's good to see you. Before we begin, a short announcement. We reached 100 subscribers, which I'm really happy for, and thank you so much. So as a celebration, I will give this Helios 44-2 lens away to someone who needs it the most. The details will be later in this video, so keep watching so you don't miss out on it. So we have two very good and very different cameras here, but both are beginner level in their own leagues. And for somebody who is just starting out, maybe you, in film or video making, it can be a hard choice to decide which one to buy. That is, if you have a budget, because both costs money obviously. Other questions we'll cover in this video. Is the ZV-E10 a good B-roll camera for the Blackmagic? Is it worth buying a camera like the Blackmagic or the ZV-E10 in 2024 since both of them are older models? And which camera is a better choice in the long run? I have these same lenses on both cameras, so in the end it will only come down to what the camera bodies are capable of, as we all know that a good lens can make a huge difference. So let's get some answers. The very first reason might not satisfy your tech-savvy desires to hear about sensor size and native ISO, but it is a very important aspect to consider. Because aside from all the technical differences, most of all, we're talking about a generic purpose-based difference. They're made for different purposes. So here are the two boxes, for instance. On the Sony ZV-E10s has written vlog camera, and obviously in the Blackmagic, you know, it already has it in its name that it's a cinema camera, though a pocket cinema camera because of its compact size. And note that even though we have these two specific cameras here today, I could have the Pocket 6K, the Sony FX3, the Red Komodo even, and on the other side of the comparison, the Canon R50, the Sony A6600 or 6400, or even the Sony A7. The side of the Blackmagic was designed for filmmaking, and the other side was made for a more generic use ranging from photography to video content making, and yes, some higher-end models for filmmaking even, but that's only because of the image quality they can produce. So when purchasing a camera, your own need is the first thing you have to know. Cinema cameras, even entry-level ones, in general are very powerful machines with the best overall image quality a camera can produce. They have less setting options. Higher-end cinema cameras don't even have a viewfinder screen or a microphone or a built-in battery, so equipment accessories you actually need for them to work. And even if you have everything to actually start seeing an image or record one, you'll need all the additional knowledge to set the right ISO, shutter speed, aperture, white balance, and so on. And in the end, you'll get an image that looks like this. So simply put, they're not user-friendly machines. But that is okay, they're not made for commerce use. However, cameras like the Sony ZV-E10 are made for everyone. They make good enough pictures and videos without the user having to have any knowledge about photo and videography. They have autofocus, so I can move back and forth, and my face will stay sharp. And the image that comes out of the camera looks like this without any additional color grading. But is there a difference in image quality? Obviously, depending on the cameras you are comparing, the difference can be smaller or bigger. Now, in our case here, we have a bit of an anomaly because our cinema camera has a micro four thirds sensor, which is smaller than the APS-C sensor in the Sony ZV-E10. But how much does the sensor size actually matter? A bigger sensor usually has a larger dynamic range, will be better in low light conditions, will have larger depth of field, so the image will be closer to that beloved cinematic look. The sensor size will define the view of the focal length, the size of the file that it would produce, so the image quality will be better. But what's up with our current case? On paper, the Sony ZV-E10 should produce a better image than the Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, right? Well, let's look at some specs and see who wins. So regarding the sensor size, the ZV-E10 wins. The sensor max resolution, the Sony ZV-E10 wins. Regarding ISO capabilities, the ZV-E10 wins. So it's not really looking good for the Blackmagic. Now in dynamic range, the Blackmagic wins. Regarding recording formats, well, I'm gonna just put these lists side by side, but with the raw recording capabilities, the Blackmagic wins without a doubt. So apparently right now it's 3-2 for the ZV-E10. But While the ZV-E10 has a max resolution of basically 6K, the final video resolution will be 3840x2160, which is supposed to be a better 4K since it's downgraded from basically 6K, but the BMP-CC 4K uses the entire sensor size to shoot video in 4K DCI, resulting in 4096x2160. Not a huge difference, but I'll give it to the Blackmagic. Regarding ISO, the ZV-E10 might be more sensitive, but as we all know, as ISO goes up, so does the noise in the image. And it handles noise very well up until ISO 800. But noise becomes more apparent higher up. This means that in darker circumstances, noise will be harder to avoid. Whereas the Blackmagic has dual native ISO, which means that the sensor is optimized for two ISO values. For the Blackmagic, it's 400 and 3200. Which means that even in low light conditions, you'll have an ISO option where the image will have significantly less noise. So a corrected outcome is more like 1 to 4 to the Blackmagic when it comes to image quality, and in this case sensor size was really not the deal breaker. So it's always worth going behind the details, because as you can see, the main specs that products are advertised by are not the only ones that will determine the quality a camera will be able to produce. And like I said, comparing higher end models is again a different case. For example, full frame regular cameras with full frame cinema cameras, or a full frame Sony camera with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Who knows, maybe in another video in the future. But as a rule of thumb, these differences will probably always be there between regular and cinema cameras. Okay, here are the two shots from the beginning of the video. So think about them again in the light of our little comparison, and then leave your guess in the comment section. The last thing we need to discuss is which one you should choose. But for that, actually, I have another video already that you can watch right over here, so check that out. There we compare the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, the Sony ZV-E10, and an iPhone 14 Pro Max. So there you have even more options and more categories really. Okay, now let's shoot some stuff. Like I said earlier, I'm going to use the same cinema lenses on both cameras, but one key difference here will be the crop factor. These are Super 35 Cine lenses, which means that they give their true focal lengths on a Super 35 sensor. Now, I have a Meike 4/3 and an APS-C sensor, so I already need to use adapters, I don't know if you can see that there, in order to connect them to the cameras. But while on the Blackmagic, I have one that has a lens part 2, since a Meike 4/3 sensor has a 2x crop factor and Super 35 has 1.5, 1.6. We need some physics to be changed here, but on the Sony, it's only a mount adapter, since APS-C has basically the same crop factor. Now, while we won't have the true focal lengths in any of the options, on the Sony, we will actually be closer to the truth, since we only lose a bit because of this adapter. I will also test the cameras with this old Helios 44-2 58mm f 2.0, which, like I said, I will be giving away as a celebration of 100 subscribers on the channel. So in order to get this, all you'll have to do is liking the video, sharing it, being subscribed to the channel, and commenting down below why you need this lens. I will choose someone who I feel like needs it the most. The lens has the M42 EF adapter here, so it will work with Canon cameras or with adapters like I'm using it with. So this is open worldwide, so feel free to participate. And now, as we're getting closer to the end, I'll tell you which one was which one. Well, did you guess it right? Let me know in the comment section. So without any further ado, so in conclusion, both are really good cameras, but it will be entirely up to your needs which one you should buy. The Sony ZV-E10 can work nicely as a B camera, especially for close-ups, but depending on the shot itself, the difference can be apparent, and the footage from the Sony ZV-E10 is not as flexible as the B-RAW or ProRes formats, on the Blackmagic, so you'll be a bit limited in color grading if you want to color match the two footages. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and if so, leave a like and subscribe to Filmmaking Simplified. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to participate in the giveaway. At 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away something else. So, you know, if you want to participate in that, help me get to 1,000. But I'm going to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one, guys.